This is the Rebound Rundown. I'm your host, Paul Fritschner. Your home for college basketball in the Cincinnati area and across the country every Monday through Friday during the season. Make sure to subscribe on YouTube and wherever you get your podcasts. Want to welcome a very special guest onto the Rebound Rundown today, Trey Green, part of the Saint Louis Billikens team that only has one loss on the season. I mean, this has been one of the most fun stories in all of college basketball. We're going to get to Trey in just a second. Make sure if you haven't already, you subscribe to the show. This is a daily podcast you can listen to on your commute to work, Apple, Spotify, wherever, or you can watch this interview on YouTube. Trey, I want to start off at your birthday today. We're recording this on Wednesday. Happy birthday, man. How you doing?
I appreciate it, my dog. I'm doing good. We had a good game yesterday, good dub. Played great, so, off to a good start.
Yeah, absolutely. I think good start's a very humble way to put it, because you are really playing as one of the most exciting teams in the country to watch. It's been fun covering you guys. It's been fun covering Miami this year and watching how just exceptional the talent is that you all have been able to put on the floor and the exciting brand of basketball that you play. You're shooting over 46% from three, and you've really found a home in St. Louis. I want to start by asking you, what attracted you to coming to St. Louis and playing for Josh Schertz and the Billikens?
Yeah, really just his style. First off, I'm going to get to him as a person. He's a great connector, a coach's coach or player's coach, I meant. You can really connect with him. He's down to earth. Also his system, like the system that he teaches you is basketball. Like you get taught a lot of different read and reactions, things like that. And he allows you to play your game within his offense too. How it was pitched to me, it just seemed like it was going to be a fun thing to be a part of. And it seemed like they were piecing together something special. I didn't think it was going to be this special. And how well we clicked together as far as the coaches and the team, the players, did that fast in the summer. Like it was probably the second, third week where we felt like we were gelling pretty well. So to see all this unfolding like this is actually amazing.
I remember coming and visiting you guys over the summer and seeing how well, I mean, you could already see the talent, right, and the cohesion and everything and what he was trying to build. And Robbie and Eshaun and Kellen's been fantastic this year, obviously, and you mixed in there with everybody. And it feels like on any given night, anybody is liable to go off, right? How much confidence does that give you, knowing that your teammates around you always have your back?
Yeah, it's definitely a pressure reliever. Knowing that, it could be anybody's night. You seen Ish against St. Bonnie's, 29 points, 14 shots, so it's like it could be anybody's night. It just allows you to go out there and play free without any pressure on your shoulders and just play your game. And honestly, that's the best way to play, where you're not just overthinking, you're not thinking too much or thinking too less about what do you have to do or what's your role. It's just go out there and play your game. And if it's your night, it's going to be your night. But if it's somebody else's, we all respect that.
Yeah, and I remember getting to know you in your time at Xavier and trying to understand what kind of a player you are and what you can bring to the table, and watching you every single day in practice, whether it was at the free throw line or whether it was at the three-point line. Yeah. The confidence that you always have in your shot, I think, is what makes you such an exceptional shooter. And you can see that this year. You're shooting, like I said, almost 47% from three. How much confidence do you have right now when you step on the floor, Trey, in your shot?
Yeah, I have ultimate confidence right now. Just the amount of work that I put in, day in and day out. I mean, when I was a little kid growing up, so that's ultimately where the confidence comes from. The amount of work that you put in, the amount of time and effort that you put into it. And if you put in the right amount of time and effort and, you keep going out there, the confidence is just going to show in itself.
Part of what Coach Schertz is trying to do right now is build this St. Louis program back. And I want to ask you about seeing the building, right? Last night against George Washington, what an awesome atmosphere it was to play in front of. What was that like?
Yeah, it was fun, electric. Like that was the loudest I've heard Chaffetz. And it gave us a boost when we needed it also. We led at one point in the first half, it was 2-0. And then we didn't lead again until the second half. So to have the fans and the crowd into it with us, it just showed that, with them on our side, it can be dangerous. They helped, they gave us a booth, and, we capitalized on it.
When you get down to the end there, the game's tied, you have the ball, or St. Louis has the ball, right? And you have the opportunity to win the game.
Yeah.
You run an action that gives so much spacing on the floor. It looked like you were an option there. Robbie was an option. Maybe you had the drive if that became available. Talk me through the end of game scenarios and what this coaching staff does to free up shooters out of a timeout.
Yeah, really just playing space. We try to get the ball in the right person's hands to make the good decisions. And last night it was KT. He played off two, got in the paint, made a sound decision, and found Robbie, who was a 50% three-point shooter himself, and he nailed the shot. When it went up in the air, I had complete confidence it was going in. I actually was kind of celebrating a little bit as it was there a little bit. But I had to hurry up and get back because I didn't want nothing to change the fact that we were up. But it's just time and space. Like I said, last night it was KT who got downhill and just made the right decision. It could be any one of us though. So
yeah, looking forward, right? This show is going to air on Friday morning, a huge one. I don't know how much you know about the St. Louis Dayton rivalry, but it's a big one in the A10 and obviously a huge one tonight. Dayton's been struggling lately. You guys have been playing very well. Just talk to me about maybe what you know about Dayton, what you've seen about them this year and what you're looking forward to.
They're a really talented team. They have depth. And I know, they haven't been playing as well these past couple of games, but that's all the more reason for them to come in here and have the energy and have the boost needed to come out how they will want to come out. And in the back of our minds or in front, we know that. And so we're going to attack it as such because we also got a chip on our shoulder. We played a tough, gutted out game against G-Dub. So going into this game, it's big for both of us. And, I think it's going to be a fun atmosphere.
What are some of the things that you guys concentrate on day in and day out, like the nitty gritty of practice with improving your shot in the season? Because obviously a lot goes into it in the off season, but how do you stay so consistent during the season?
Yeah, just keeping reps, just confidence and keeping reps, the amount of shots that I put up, the amount of time that you put into it. And the coaching staff, they're great with installing confidence in me too, along with my teammates. They also, when they see me open, they're like, let it rip, shoot it. Don't hesitate. Don't think about it. Let it go. And that confidence, knowing that your teammates have your back no matter, what, that allows you to go out there and not think. So
what do you think is, in your mind, the most underrated part of this St. Louis team this year?
Honestly, I would say our defense. We have such a great system on the offensive end. We kind of know how to guard it also. We go up against each other every day in practice, and it's a constant battle. We got a lot of players that do a lot of different things, and we're also still learning how to play in the function of an offense. Like what are our strengths? Play to those things. And to defend that's also hard. So I think our defense is our underrated thing. We have to, of course, get better, be more physical. But we're a good team, but we have the ability to be a great team, and we're still growing in all areas right now.
What's the message you guys are getting right now where you're 20-1 on the season? You have a whole lot to look forward to as the season goes on, obviously goals for the NCAA tournament and beyond there. So what do you feel like you all need to keep in mind into February and then into March?
Yeah, just stay present. Dayton's next. That's the main thing. Not getting too far ahead, not getting too far behind, because ultimately that's when you allow things to slip. And you can see that in the course of a game, a practice, even off days, you start to see slippage in certain things. But staying present is the main thing. Like I said, Dayton's next. We just have to focus on what we need to do to handle that task at hand. Then Davidson after that, and so on and so forth. So staying present is the key.
What's something that maybe the average fan or somebody that, maybe just kind of casually sees what's going on at St. Louis, what's something that people might not know about Coach Schertz?
Honestly, it's a good question.
Is there something that sticks out, something that maybe happens at practice, the way he keeps you guys motivated? Is there something that sticks out that maybe doesn't get enough attention?
Yeah, he's an excellent motivator. He has his way with words and connecting with people. He's been through a lot in his time as a coach and as a person. So he can connect in all levels, and he's an understanding guy. Like, he's down to earth. He's real cool, man. I'm not gonna lie. Like that's just the coolest coach I played for so far, as far as connecting but being serious at the same time. You know, he tries to find the joy in basketball, but at the same time, there's a certain level where you gotta come back and be serious, and he understands that. So.
For sure. Well, Trey, I appreciate you taking a few minutes today and sitting down on your birthday to talk some St. Louis hoops. Best of luck tonight as we do this against Dayton, and best of luck the rest of the way. I'm gonna hopefully get out there to see you guys at Dayton at the in the end of February. So I'll be watching, I'll be following, and like I said, best of luck to you guys, man. It's a lot of fun to watch.
Thank you. I appreciate you, my dog.
Yep.